Welcome back to Market Day Report. I just want to thank you for joining us. As soon as I get done with this segment, you're going to stick around. You're going to watch the cow guy in a little bit, and then it's firework time. But we need to be safe out there. I don't want to see any crazy TikToks or anything of you kids hurting yourself out there. Speaking of hurting yourself, let's make sure these markets are still safe and moving the way you'd like. I can't guarantee it, but I know the farmer needs a rally, and we're getting just that today in corn. SEP corn, 421 a quarter, up 3 1/4. Looking at the Dees board, 437 a quarter, up 3 3/4. It was as high as 442 1/4. All eyes on that 450 level, and then 475. We are still well off crop insurance levels here in corn, but optimistic. We've had a big rally from when I came in yesterday morning to where we are now. I think the farmer will have a little something to celebrate here as the markets have definitely stabilized. We're going to have an announcement in Iowa today, and I wouldn't even want to speculate what President Trump will say, but as soon as he says it, we'll get it right out to you. December corn, 437 up 3 1/2. Let's look at soybeans here. A little pressure in beans as we end the day. SEP beans, 1044 up 4 1/2. They've come back from last segment. And Nov soybeans, 1053 up 5. They were close to unchanged, but they're definitely doing better. Nice to see this. This is definitely a win for the producer. Looking at Board of Trade wheat down 2 1/4, 561 3/4. Looking at SEP Board of Trade wheat, 583 down 1. Hard red wheat heading out to Kansas City, and that's also coming back, 540 1/2 down 1 3/4. Dees hard red, 565 1/4 down 3/4. Heading up to spring wheat country. I do hope all my friends up north, North Dakota, Minnesota, Canada, they had some horrible storms, back-to-back bad storms, but they're recovering. A lot of bins lost, some crop damage, some hail involved in those storms. Keep us in touch with what's going on up there. SEP spring wheat, 651 3/4, up 2 3/4. Looking at D spring wheat, 670 1/2, up 3 pennies. Talk out of Russia that not everything's perfect in Russian wheat country. Let's go to cotton. October cotton, 66.68, down 149. Dees cotton, 68.41. Our next guest is someone who you know, and I'd like to consider him a friend. I don't know if he'll say the same, but Mr. Scott Shalday, the cow guy, wearing a pink cow shirt. Stage is yours, my friend. If you were me and you had to talk to farmers all day, what would you tell them going into the holiday weekend, Scotty?
Well, I mean, I know it's different everywhere, but we've got pollination. Pollination. The July 5th to the 15th is going to be a pretty critical time. And now we're seeing a rally in these markets. I mean, maybe not as high as they were. It's interesting to see this rally at this time of year. We would normally expect it to be a weather rally because we are worried about what might be happening with those plants out there. But it's more of a geopolitical rally, right? What might Trump say? We've got some funds that are short. Some outside things have kind of really energized the market. So I would say, while a lot of producers were upset that they didn't get anything out of that stocks and acreage report on Monday, and there really wasn't anything threatening in the weather because every time it's hot, it's not dry. We've been getting some decent and timely rains. Everybody was wondering when the funds were going to take their foot off the neck of the producer, and it looks as though maybe Donald Trump's he made that happen with maybe some of these trade deals or something he may announce in Iowa. He's going to be at the Iowa State Fair today. So those are the types of things that are getting, I think, the shorts running for the door, at least some of them, to get started. Now, do you reward this rally right now? I'm not so sure. I'd kind of want to wait and see what we have to say tonight, but I think that this is something different. We're getting a rally, but it's not from the weather.
Yeah. Scott, a Dees $4 puts under a dime currently. At least you know where your floor is. Is that correct? You combine that with crop insurance. Is that something you'd suggest?
Yeah, because that's just buying cheap insurance. The exchange has a ton of different ways that they can help you do that. Brokers like you can help producers do that, and they should absolutely use it. But a lot of folks don't understand those options, or at least are afraid of them. But anything under a dime that's going to give you the cover, it's, again, cheap insurance. You would buy it for your house. You'd buy it for your car. And you shouldn't be mad if it doesn't pay off, because that means we didn't go down there. That's another thing that we have to talk about.
Yeah, you shouldn't be upset you didn't wreck your...
Right.
I've never heard anyone say, this weekend was horrible, I didn't wreck my pickup truck. But we will continue to educate people. I know you do a good job, and people like Carly and all your guests you have on. The one thing that's so impressive about what you do is the outside markets. And I wonder if farmers and ranchers realize how much the outside markets are really affecting what they do in something like corn.
There's only 3 things we can trade. We can trade commodities, we can trade interest rates, and we can trade equities, right? So commodities are big. It's 1/3 of the three-legged stool. But what farmers and everybody needs to know is that you're really at the behest of interest rates, and equities affect interest rates. Obviously, interest rate bond markets affect interest rates, and then those ultimately will affect commodities. So really, it's all about Jay Powell, interest rates, Fed funds, and the 10-year yield. And you have to know what those things are doing because it will affect everything from your fuel to your food. And if farmers can have it, you can actually hedge that risk if you really got a big risk in it. But It's something that everybody needs to have in mind.
Stay right there. We're going to take a commercial break. We're going to come back, talk cattle real quick when Market Day Report continues. Thank you. Here we go. Hey, welcome back to Market Day Report. So excited to be here. Hope you're excited to watch these cattle markets trade. Let's get right into live cattle here as we get ready to go home. August live cattle, 213.77, up 132. Oct cattle, 210.40, up 70. Going all the way out to Dece, Feb, April, 210, 210, 210, and a lot of the same prices. But we'll see a little bit a different story in the feeder cattle market here. Expecting a little bit of volatility as we close. Like to see an upboard that should give the rancher something to celebrate here this season. 309.05 here in August feeders, up just a tick. Sep feeders, 309.05, up 17. Oct feeders, 306. Hogs were down earlier, and I got a feeling they're still down. Quite a lot of spreading between the hogs and the cattle. July hogs, 108.30, down 135. August hogs, 106.07, down 182. I want to waste no time. I'm going to bring Scott Shaladay back in. The cow guy, I do have a question. I stood by him and his father in the corn options pit. Scott, did you ever have a full seat and go over and trade the meat, sir?
No, I did not go over and trade. Well, when I got started, they weren't fungible. You could only trade a Board of Trade product with Board of Trade seats. They weren't together yet, and they merged. I don't know when it was, 2008 maybe. But I did start my career in live cattle options in 1988.
You're showing your age.
Yes, as a clerk in the live cattle options. So I started over at the Merck, and then they transferred me over to the Chicago Board of Trade, where I got involved with soybeans and corn. But it was interesting to see both of those commodities, both of the commodity contracts that both of those exchanges traded, and I've been involved ever since. And speaking about the meats, Tommy, I think that this market still kind of feels strong to me, only because we had that news of opening up 5 ports of entry for the cattle after the new world screwworm. I can't say it. And it really took a little bit of a beating. I think it was Tuesday, maybe. But it's come back, hasn't it? So when stuff like that happens and we shake off bad news, or at least news that could take us lower if the market really needed to go lower, but it doesn't seem to be that the case. So again, once again, we stay in here, we shrug off that bad news, and it just feels like this market stays healthy. We'll see. Yeah,
go back to 88. We had a big drought that year, didn't we?
We did. I was clerking in the soybeans and corn. Corn was took off, and everybody was hoping for a drought there on after. And then, of course, a lot of folks lost money the next year because we did not have a drought in 1989. But yeah, that's where I got started, both the live cattle and then corn options, bean options. But it was a great, back in the day, remember, I graduated right after the crash of 87. That was in the fall, and I graduated in the spring of 88. So you could have wallpapered my bedroom with the rejection letters. There was nobody hiring in the business at all whatsoever. So it was a long time ago, but I can tell you that I took that job. It was the only one that was ever offered, and it was $125 a week as the starting pay. How about that?
Thanks, Scotty. I love the storytelling time. All right. You've been a great guest, Scotty. Good luck on Cow Guy. Suzanne.
He's not used to being the guest. This is a very different thing.
No, he's going to stay here. We're going to get his number, his email. I think we'll have him on again next week.
School of Hard Knocks. He'll be back, I'm sure. Tommy, thank you.
Thanks for the warning.
Have an incredible holiday weekend, by the way.